Hello, Rob from Fountain Pen Journey. It's been a long time, to be honest. I've had an awful lot on recently, and as much as this YouTube channel is great for me talking about the fountain pens, it's very time consuming, and anyone who actually runs a YouTube channel on a regular basis will probably understand that. It does take an awful lot of time, and with a new job fairly recently in 2020, I haven't really had enough time to do very much like this, so I thought I'll start off with a face-to-face video because some of my new subscribers probably don't know what I look like unless they've seen my introductory video. So I thought I'll just do a face-to-face talking video for the moment. I do have my usual pot of pens here, so I will talk about some of those later on. However, I'll just go through what I've been up to and where I am with my fountain pen journey 3 years on, and this video is long overdue. I did intend on doing this video at the 3-year point, which would have been July, August 2020, but as I mentioned before, time not on my side. So here it is. And what have I learned in this 3 years? Well, in all honesty, I think this year, 2020, has been a bit of a weird one for many reasons. It's not a good year. And my predictions for 2020 for the fountain pen world, I did a video back in January, maybe December 2019, discussing the predictions that I had for the, if you like, the lower end, lower cost fountain pens for 2020. And I think largely that's been proven to be right. Unfortunately, we never saw what was coming in 2020, so it's kind of gone a little bit off the rails. But certain predictions did turn out to be true, such as the new Lamy colours, Lamy Safari, for example, the candy colours, and Pelikan did release the Pelikan Edelstein Moonstone ink of the year, and also the M200 fountain pen, which I have in here somewhere. Here we go. Here it is. Pelikan M200 Moonstone, which is a nice pen, and I will be reviewing this in due course. So stay tuned for that. Hit the subscribe button and I shall do that. So that was my 2020 predictions. I'm going to have to refer to my notes because there's a lot of little points that I don't want to miss in this discussion. I know it's a one-way discussion, but hey, sit back and listen. Thanks. So Chinese fountain pens. That's what I started on my fountain pen journey with, and I know that some people say, well, you know, it's a fountain pen collection. No, it's not a fountain pen collection. I'm a user, and I evolved over the first 6 months of my own fountain pen journey, where I thought all I'd ever use were Jinhao fountain pens. I was just going to collect Jinhao fountain pens. That very quickly changed, and I started collecting all sorts of lower cost fountain pens. I discovered Lamy, and I thought I'd collect Pelikan fountain pens. That changed, and it's always changing, and 2020 for me has been a huge year of change. I mean, for example, the Chinese fountain pens in 2020, there has not been a huge number of new models on the market. Things like the Jinhao Centennial fountain pen came out, and over the course of the last 12 months we've seen different colour variations of that, but apart from that, not really. There hasn't been that many new Chinese fountain pen models. I will state about Pen BBS. Pen BBS was obviously hit quite hard during the first part of 2020. Unlike the rest of the world, they haven't really properly recovered from it yet, with very few new designs. I know that the magnetic filling fountain pens were something that sent the world into a little bit of a tiz-was, because everyone got quite excited about that. However, Pen BBS for me, there's certain pens which I like from them, like the 308. Pen BBS 308 is a great cartridge converter pen. It's eyedropperable, it's comfortable, it's a classic design, and it's affordable. Whereas a lot of the other, if you like, magnetic piston fillers, magnetic filling fountain pens from Pen BBS, the prices have been increasing. Postage from China is also increasing as well, and it's kind of pushing it into the, if you like, above the TWSBI price bracket, which the Pen BBS pens are good, don't get me wrong, I still like their pens, but it's kind of getting a little bit pricey for some of those, if you like, cheap Chinese fountain pens, and it's putting me off a little bit. So without much coming in from China, without Pen BBS releasing a whole load of new models, and when they do release models, there is a Facebook fountain pen page called Taste the Rainbow, and that's for Pen BBS collectors. And quite honestly, what happens is somebody will notice that the Pen BBS Etsy shop is updating with some new models or new colours, and they sell out within a couple of hours. So, you know, if you want a Pen BBS XYZ, chances are you're never going to get your hands on one now. So it's kind of, it's been a victim of its own success, really, which is a bit of a shame, because I probably would have maybe tried, or certainly would have bought some of the Pen BBS fountain pens that were actually released in 2020, but I'm not going to fight people for it. It's not worth the time and stress, if you like. So that's where I am with the Chinese fountain pens. So diversification for 2020. Well, in the absence of lots of cheap Chinese fountain pens, like many people this year, I have not been able to spend a huge amount of money. My, if you like, income suffered, obviously, because of the events of 2020, and spending money on fountain pens has not really been a priority. And because of that, I've actually found that I've diversified for the pens that I have bought in 2020 into some other new brands which I've never tried before, and that's kind of carried on my journey in a different way, which is, I think, quite a good thing, to be honest, because I have discovered Japanese fountain pens, which I really do like, really do like. In fact, so much more so than the German fountain pens, which I actually have really been concentrating on for the last 2 years. So that's been quite an experience, and in my pen pot I do have some Japanese fountain pens, which I will be talking about, so stay tuned. The other thing is, I've actually really got to the point where I appreciate a nib which writes well, and the Japanese fountain pens do that, and it's far in a world, it's a world away from the Chinese fountain pens. Many fountain pen users will already know that. I'm still, sorry if I knocked the mic, I'm still considering myself a very much novice in the fountain pen world, and I'm not going to say Chinese fountain pens write badly, because there are some which write reasonably well, some which write well, and some are really good. Pen BBS, I've never had a scratchy nib that needed alignment from Pen BBS, but they all write dry and they're all fine, and they're not very exciting nibs to write with. You know, you write with the Japanese fine and suddenly you realise how bad the Chinese fine nibs really are. So it's been a learning curve. It's been an experience, certainly. This year, of course, with not buying new fountain pens, I've actually revisited some of my old fountain pens from, well, back in 2017, 18, and actually really quite appreciated the ability to actually go back and spend a long time writing with some of my, if you like, original fountain pens. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but quite honestly, Schaefer No Nonsense. I love it. I still love it. And I did spend a fair bit of time this year reorganising my fountain pen collection and my ink collection into some sort of order, because it was scattered around all over the house, different places, different boxes, different drawers, and it was difficult to manage and see what I actually had. So I've reorganised it all, made it, if you like, easier to understand. I've put them in boxes by manufacturer, model, things like that, and it's made the whole process of finding a pen, choosing a pen to write with, a lot easier, because I do have quite a lot. And on the subject of the Schaefer No Nonsense fountain pens, wow, I was amazed at what a collection I had. I've acquired a lot over the years, and because they're affordable, you don't tend to get that many people bidding like mad on eBay, because you see one for a price and it tends to go at that price. You lucky American viewers, you get all the other options, because you get a lot of Schaefer No Nonsense fountain pens which have got branding on, collectible, advertising, that type of thing. We don't see as many in the UK, which is a bit of a shame, because I would have probably liked to have acquired some of those, but it's probably a good thing that we don't have that opportunity here in the UK, because I'd just end up with a house full of Schaefer No Nonsenses. Excuse my tea. So I've been doing all sorts of stuff. What else has happened? Let's have a quick read. I want to cover all of my bullet points that I've got down here. You know what? I'm just going to crack on straight into some of the pens that I've been using. These are the pens that I've been using most recently. I have been spending a fair amount of time cleaning and inking new pens, and then moving on, because I haven't had time to record YouTube videos of all of them. So there are some pens which I've had in my fountain pen rotation which have never been reviewed, and I want to talk about one or two of these key pens in here, which I either will be reviewing shortly, or will be showing you in a everyday carry pen video very soon. I mean, as always, I have a Lamy Safari. I love these pens. They're great. They're knockabout pens, and they write usually quite well. So there's always one of those. That's the Umbra. 2020, I have bought quite a few of these fountain pens. This is a Namisu. This is the Namisu Comet in blue. And these are made in the UK. Actually, they're made in Scotland. Scotland is even part of the UK this month, I don't know. And these are excellent. They tend to be sold as Kickstarter fountain pens originally before they go into production, and if you sign up to the Kickstarter campaigns, you get a discount, and that's how I got these, because they are a little bit more expensive. However, Namisu, they do have their own website, and they often provide, well, not often, but occasionally provide discount codes or sales, and I picked up some real bargains from them. So that's one of those. I think you saw this pen in one of my videos a few months ago. This is the Namisu Naos in satin black, and I wasn't really sold on this pen to begin with. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. I think I was being a bit ungrateful, because this is actually one of my favourite pens. This is a really, really nice pen. Really good writer. I've had a few issues with hard starts on it when I'm writing, like the nib dries out within a few seconds or so. But it's a great feeling pen, and it looks very industrial, quite minimalist, but quite stylish at the same time. Very, very nice pen. I finally got around to inking up, let's just pop that to one side, finally got around to inking up this thing. Chinese fountain pen, Keiko Retro in orange. I bought 3 of these from Cult Pens, and I'm going to put a link down below to Cult Pens with the Mention Me discount code, which will get you 10% off. Now, I'm not affiliated in any way to Cult Pens, but if you get 10% off and you mention me, I also get 10% off, so I can buy more fountain pens. So we can all buy more fountain pens for 10% off. So that's worth investigating, that code in the description down below. And these are Parker 51 knockoffs. You can see try and get that in some sort of focus there. So we've got this hooded nib, medium nibs, which write sort of medium fine. I think they're described as medium nibs. I have had a few issues with these hard starting a little bit, but they are actually really good cheap pens. And Colt pens, when I bought these, it was 3 for the price of 2, and too big an opportunity to miss. So I've got the black one, the turquoise one, and this orange one. So that's that. On the subject of orange pens, this is a pen that I've been waiting to review for quite a while, and I've been re-inking this pen several times over, mainly because I've never been 100% sure about the section, which is exceedingly short, very, very hourglass shaped. See the hourglass shape there. So it is incredibly short, and it pretty much forces your fingers into a tripod grip, whether you like it or not. It's round, it's a round section, but you can't really hold the pen anywhere else. I mean, you can hold it up here, but it's just a bit too girthy, not very comfortable. So it's an interesting one. This is the Faber-Castell Ondoro, which I really like the design of. It's been around for a few years, and this comes with a fine nib, and unlike the Faber-Castell Hexo, which I was exceedingly disappointed with in 2020, this writes like an absolute dream. This has got a fine nib, and this is really, really good. So review of that coming soon. Let's see, what else have we got in here now before I get onto the Japanese fountain pens. TWSBI AL Mini, which is excuse me, another drink of tea because I'm losing my voice. This is a cute little pen. This is, if you like, a companion pen to the TWSBI VAC Mini, which I bought last year. And this is really nice. This comes in a few different colours. This is the gold version, which I think looks really good, and it looks very industrial. You've kind of got black, silver and gold. It looks like something you'd use on a construction site. Very small section, very small pen. There we go. Screw to post, which annoys me a bit, but it becomes a decently sized fountain pen. Holds a fair amount of ink, so that'll be yet another upcoming review. And what else have we got in here? You know what, I'm going to save quite a few of these for the everyday carry video, which I'm going to record very soon and will be uploaded within the next day or two. So let's talk about Japanese fountain pens. Well, there's a Japanese pencil, the Oto No Knock, which I must admit I still haven't really used. Bought it from Colt Pens very cheaply. Apparently you don't need to keep pressing the button to keep feeding the lead. It automatically feeds itself. I'd love to use this and really work out how much fun that is to use, but unfortunately every time I go into this pen pot I pick up a fountain pen instead. Let's talk about, where is it? Here we go. Right, so early 2020, this thing was announced. The Platinum Curidas. And I asked a very good question in a video of mine, so basically asking, will you be buying one of these? And the responses I got were very mixed, mainly erring towards no, not really interested. And to be honest, I was inclined to agree, definitely agree. And I was not going to buy one of these. However, I got 20% off Colt Pens. Sorry, I keep mentioning Colt Pens because I keep getting the discounts. And it became worth trying one of these pens. And as far as a knock about the house fountain pen goes, where you can pick it up, take a quick note, or say for example I'm writing, maybe get interrupted, something else is happening and I want to cap it and uncap it quickly, the whole concept of this is great. One-handed, I mean, it's unusual. I mean, think of it as the cheap, poor cousin to the Pilot Vanishing Point, of which I have one, and I will be reviewing as well. This is the grey version, and I actually really quite like it. I wouldn't say it's the absolute best, and it's not a shade on the Pilot Vanishing Point, and it's not going to be as durable as the Pilot Vanishing Point, and it's one of these things, you know, buy cheap, buy twice. I have a feeling this is not going to be as robust as a Vanishing Point, so if you wanted a retractable nib fountain pen, which is fun, I'd almost certainly recommend the Vanishing Point over the Platinum Curidas. But if you can get one at the right price, this is fun. And of course it's a demonstrator. All the colours are translucent and you can see the mechanisms and things going on when you retract the nib, things like that. So interesting fountain pen. Interesting review of this as well. That's not the review in a nutshell by any means, because there are quite a few things I need to talk about in that review. And other Japanese fountain pens which I've been enjoying playing with are things like Sailor, you know, all coming up in my EDC and also in reviews. So we've got the Sailor Le Cool Rose Quartz, which I do quite like pink pens. Make of that what you will, but hey, you know, pink pens, pink inks. You can get some really nice colourful pink inks, and I know a lot of my female viewers, I'm not stereotyping because I'm a male and I like pink inks and pink pens, but I know a lot of my female viewers will be definitely interested in this review, and it's a nice little fountain pen. It's quite a small, short fountain pen, posts nice and deeply, but it's a nice pen. And it's a nice colour as well. I quite like rose quartz, and yeah, it is definitely the rose quartz colour. I do also have a selection of other things in here which I'm going to talk about in my everyday carry video, because otherwise this video is going to go on forever. So thank you very much for watching. Do stay tuned because there will be more videos coming out regularly. I'm not going to be sticking to the upload schedule that I had earlier in 2020 of every Tuesday and Thursday. I haven't quite figured out my video release schedule just yet. I need to look at how my time is going to work out over the week and make some concessions there. It won't be 2 videos a week, it's more likely going to be 1 video per week, but I will try to stick to a regular upload time. And at the moment I'm thinking probably around 2 PM Friday in the UK, so Greenwich Mean Time at the moment. Here we are in winter 2020, nice depressingly dull November day. So thanks very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye.